am often asked if I went to art school, and the answer is no. Today, I'll be sharing how I taught myself how to draw. I'll be also sharing how I built a solid foundation in 12 months. And if you're wondering if you can do it too, the answer is yes, you can. But here's the thing. Learning how to draw and I think art in general is a never ending journey, and I am still improving. I also get asked how I decided to start drawing, but I didn't make a big decision to start drawing. It's something that just happened. But let's go back to how it all started. One day, as a teenager, I just decided to grab a pencil and a piece of paper, and I started to draw one of my favorite artists at that time. I kept drawing from there for years, but then life happened. I went to law school, I got too busy, and I stopped drawing. That was back in 2010. That's weird to say, but yeah. So forward to 2020 when I restarted my journey of drawing. I was working since 2017 and I was feeling stuck. Work felt boring and I knew that I needed something creative in my life. I had been drawing, dancing, playing basketball, everything fun, and all of a sudden I was just working and it was very boring for me. So that's how I was feeling at the time. I didn't know immediately what I was going to do as a creative activity outside of work. And then one day my mom was rearranging the basement and she found one of my old drawings. It was actually one drawing of her. I remember vividly when I did that drawing. It was a Sunday afternoon. She was taking a nap on the couch and I just decided to make a quick sketch of her. When she sent me that drawing, she asked me why I had stopped drawing, and honestly I didn't have any valid answers, but I knew at that moment that I was going to pick up my pencils again and restart my drawing journey. At that time, back in 2020, when I restarted, I didn't have any expectations or goals or anything. I just wanted to draw because it felt right. I had no plans. I was just drawing for fun. Then I started posting some of the drawings on Instagram, and the algorithm started showing me other drawings and other artists. And that's basically how I realized what was possible to do with pencils. I had no idea. I was just drawing in my corner. I had never seen any type of realistic, hyper realistic drawing in my life. Didn't know it was a thing. But one thing for sure, when I saw it, I knew that I had to understand. I was simply blown away and I had to know how they were doing it. So I basically binge watched tutorials on YouTube. I watched so much tutorials of drawing techniques and I practiced every day. Every day I was drawing, and when I was not drawing, I was watching a tutorial, taking notes, and the next day I would draw or go get the material that I had discovered and practice. I was basically obsessed. Yeah. So in the beginning, I naturally was curious about the techniques. So that's where I started. I started by discovering and understanding the techniques. Then later on, I noticed that my proportions were a bit off. So I started also focusing on proportions. And I think that if you're starting from scratch, it's maybe the other way around, but whatever works. So during that time, what I realized is how having the right material matters. I'm not talking about having the most expensive tools. I'm talking about having the right tools, technically speaking, that will allow you to achieve your desired results. So I would discover materials and try to compare things that I had done in my teenagers and understand how, if I had X, Y, and Z, my drawings would have looked even better, even though I didn't know much about proportions. At that moment, I realized basically that I didn't even have the right materials. What also helped me at the very beginning of this journey is that I quickly realized that it was better for me to practice with intention or with a goal. I would practice drawing an eye, for example, then I'll move on to drawing some other feature. Then I would focus on drawing the skin and then the texture. I also didn't rush to draw big or as detailed as possible. I built my skills step by step. Overall, I think the most challenging thing for me to learn by myself was proportions. And even till today, I don't like the sketching step. I think it's the most challenging one because if you don't get the proportions right, most likely the drawing is not going to look accurate. Of course, now I know that there's techniques to make all of that easier, and yeah, it makes the process a bit smoother. In general, I think that people think that drawing or art in general is a talent that you're born with, but just like any other skill is something that you can learn. If you love it and you practice consistently, you will improve. You will get better. So what do you think? Leave your comments below and let me know if you think that talent is something that you're born with or if it's something that you can learn over time with practice. Okay, back to my story. So when I started to see progress, real progress, I was so proud. It was the best feeling ever. I knew I was onto something. I have two drawings in mind that really changed my perspective. And with those two drawings, honestly, I was surprised with myself. I mean, I could see it with others, but I didn't know that I could do it. So that's how I know that talent is something that you practice. I didn't know I could do it until I did it. The first drawing was in summer 2020 and it's a drawing of the beautiful Lupita Nyong'o. And the second one was during summer 2021. I did this when I started to add skin texture. This is a drawing of Idris Elba. And let me tell you, the confidence that comes with mastering a new skill is crazy. It's so rewarding. I think that everybody should have something creative that they're experiencing, experimenting, where they are good or not. It's just the fact that you see the improvement. It will just enlighten your mood and boost your confidence more than any other things or any other person will do for you. That's just what I think. That's how we started. And fast forward to today, I have obviously more experience and I have built a strong intuition. I can anticipate how a drawing or a specific desired effect will turn out more easily, or what technique or material I need for a specific result. And that is something you can only learn with practice and experience. But even then, you still have to learn. I'm still trying to challenge myself by taking on more difficult projects. I still check out other artists for inspiration and techniques, and I continue to grow as an artist. If you're starting today, here's my advice. I think the first thing is to practice with intention. Work on small projects, for example, until you get your proportions right, and then you can jump on bigger ones, and because it's already challenging in itself, so that will allow you to not be discouraged so fast. Second will be to join a community, because learning from others will speed up the process for you if that is your goal, especially if you have professional expectations for your drawings, for your art. You want to join preferably a community with someone that has made the mistakes, and a space where you can find everything that you need without being overwhelmed by everything that is out there, because that is something that I definitely came across. If I could start over and if I had the goals that I have now in mind, I would probably join a community sooner. But back then, I didn't expect anything from my art. It was just my personal escape. Even when I was younger, I think only my mom knew that I would be drawing in my room the entire time. Joining a community and practice with intention can help you stay focused and achieve a certain level of progress quicker. My third advice, very important in whatever skill you want to learn, is consistency. Even if you learn something new, you learn a new technique, you learn about a new tool, whatever, progress and mastering the technique will only come with consistency in your practice, dedicating time each day, twice a day, 3 times a day, and keep at it and keep going. My last advice will be, whatever happens, whatever your objectives you have for your art, enjoy the process. Enjoy your journey. Take your time on each piece, especially if you're practicing realism or hyperrealism. This style is about the patience to observe and to draw what you actually see, and the passion for each detail. So whenever you feel like the result that you want to achieve are far away, whether you're starting or improving your skills, just remember these words: practice and consistency. Consistency brings progress always, and practice is the only way to understand and to improve. So if this video helps or inspired you in any way, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my Patreon if you want to dive deeper in my process. You will find there audio tips and tutorials that I don't share on my other platforms. Watch my last videos, they will appear somewhere on the screen, and share this video with a friend that also needs to see it. Keep creating. I'll see you in the next one.